you sensing that Chris was starting to run out of gas there, or what were you saying?
Chris pitched pretty well. As far as results, he gave us a good chance to win. We didn't do much against their pitching. We scored 2 runs. Andreezy was pretty good. And no, I can't. I thought Chris, usually second time out after a layoff, you might have a little different results. But I thought, if you look at the product as a whole, Chris gave us a chance there.
You've talked a lot of times about teams who out of the race who provide really good competition. What is it about teams that are out of the race like this team?
Well, I just talk about Tampa's. They've been they're playing in one of the toughest divisions. I'm not going to get into rating divisions. Everybody's got their challenges, but they got good pitching. They catch a ball. They do a lot of things well. But there's you have a lot of young players trying to make their mark and make impressions, and they're playing with a lot of effort and a lot of looseness, and that's what I was talking about with Chris. Chris very close to get. If we score 6 runs, for instance, you're talking about Chris with probably a 6th-inning outing, giving up 3 runs. It's just we didn't score many runs, but this time of year, that's September baseball. You got a lot of clubs that are in different positions and have a different mentality every game.
Last night, I know it's a word you make fun of a lot, but small ball got all the credit for coming back and manufacturing those runs. But
By who? But okay.
They.
Okay.
Is there too much of that? Can there be too much of that where a team that doesn't do it gets out of that swing?
It's about scoring runs, however you do it. We. Manny had a good at bat. We got up ahead, and then Kim had a couple productive at bats. We had Adam had a productive out, set us up for that run, and so. But you like to do that, but it's about scoring runs regardless of how you do it. Whatever the situation presents, then you attack it accordingly. The scoreboard dictates how you attack a game. It's pretty easy. If you break it down like that, scoreboard dictates your approach. You're taking 3-0, 2-0, whatever. The scoreboard tells you how you play the game.
Question.
Obviously, every game is important, but to at least split tomorrow, and you have Miley pitching, but at least split tomorrow going into the Boston series. Well, how important is that to you?
I don't get into that mentality that this has to happen, that has to happen. Our guys will show up and compete their butt off, and we'll, do what needs to be done. And if it leads to a win, then so be it. But our guys understand. They don't need me stating the obvious. Everybody, doesn't behoove your mentality to constantly. They understand the atmosphere that they're playing in, and it doesn't have to state the obvious, but every game's important, and just like they were in April. We can go back through 3 or 4 games that we probably, on paper, shouldn't have won, and we did, and games that we felt like we should have that we didn't. It is what it is. You seek your level, and we got a chance, and tonight won't change that.
Okay. I know baseball's just like this, but Andreezy comes in with an .856 career ERA against you guys. Never pitched well against you. Ends up throwing about half as many pitches as Chris over the same period. Even though you guys kind of got after him early on.
Well, I think he shows you why he's had success and why they think highly of him, and he's going to, he's one of their real strengths. They're 7 or 8 deep in starting pitching, and he's trying to leave a good taste in their mouth, and he had a good. It's kind of a split change fork, whatever you want to call it. It runs 2 ways. There's no consistency to it, and you can't play it. It's not. The board was having trouble describing what it was. It was it's a pitch that we know is very good for him, and we had trouble solving it. He had a real good one tonight, which he hadn't in the past. And if you throw out that, it's kind of like how does. Ubaldo comes in, with X numbers, and all of a sudden he starts pitching real well. These guys are major league pitchers that, that have the best pitchers in the world. That on a given night they show you why they're good. And tonight was one of those nights.
After the last start, there was still uncertainty about Chris's shoulder. Are you guys through that? Is he,
Well, I've said, I'm not going to bore you with things I've said before. You look at all pitchers, this time of year because of the wear and tear of the season. But, Chris, as far as I know, felt good tonight and presented himself pretty well. I know he's probably disappointed with it some, but, if you just look at it as a whole, the story was we just didn't solve much they did from the pitching department. We didn't swing the bats very well. Okay, thank you.